To the Cincy Sports Pod with my host Jack Schneider. We're going to be talking a little bit about the March Madness games, including which team that's still in is sort of surprising, which four seed we like the best, and then just go through each of the individual Sweet 16 matchups. So first we'll start with who do you think is the most surprising team that's still in the tournament?
I think it's got to be Arkansas. They're the only double-digit seed in the tournament and the only seed lower than six at this point, and there are only two seeds with six or lower outside of Arkansas. That's Ole Miss and BYU. And both those teams were trendy Sweet 16 teams. I think this has been a pretty chalk tournament for the most part. No mid-majors. All the Sweet 16 teams come from the Power Four conferences, the Big 12, Big 10, SEC, and ACC. But I think Arkansas, based off how they played in the season, they weren't supposed to get here at one point. They're definitely the most surprising team, in my opinion.
I would agree. I'd have to agree with you on that. I think Arkansas's one's been pretty cool, especially for Calipari. I mean, he wasn't having too much success as of recent at Kentucky, getting to a new program with an entirely new team. I mean, I believe there was only three players on their roster when he first came there, and he scrounged up through the transfer portal and created a team that is now in the Sweet 16 and has a chance to make some noise for sure. I mean, this is a good Arkansas team for sure. And then I would probably say like who I like the best four seed or higher. I think it's got to be, even though they just beat Colorado State on a game winner, Derek Queen's bank shot. Um, I think it's got to be Maryland. Maryland's a very talented team. Um, I believe they're probably aren't they playing Florida?
Yes, Florida.
That's going to be a tall task, especially because Florida had a scare, so maybe they'll be stronger because of that. But they're capable. Maryland's a very capable team of dethrowing that one seed. And for my personal bracket sakes, I really hope, even though Florida is in my Final Four, I honestly might want them to lose because of how many people in my bracket have Florida winning. I think it's probably one of the most common picks. Um, so
Yeah, for me, the obviously Maryland is a really good pick, and I like them in my secondary bracket. I actually have them in the Final Four, but in my main bracket, I do have Florida winning, so I hope the Gators get it done. But I'm gonna switch it up and go a six seed BYU out of the Big 12. I really love this basketball team. As a when I play basketball, I'm a guard. I just love the guard play. BYU, tons of shooters on the outside. Trevin Knell, Igor Demon, projected lottery pick. Dallin Hall, Ron Baker, or excuse me, Dawson Baker, Richie Saunders, all these guys can light it up. Saunders had 25 points and 7 rebounds in that second round game against Wisconsin. I really like this BYU team. I believe that they have the scoring to compete with the Crimson Tide of Alabama. They're a Sweet 16 matchup in the East region. I think BYU is very capable of pulling the upset, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did. And I think it starts with their guard play, and I wouldn't be surprised if they get to a Final Four because this Duke team is good, but I feel like BYU has the ability to shoot teams out of the game, and I don't mind them beating Arizona if Arizona were to get to the Elite Eight as well. So I think BYU has a really good path to the Final Four in that sixth spot in the East region.
sick feeling in my stomach before that game, Wisconsin versus BYU, because I had Wisconsin on a pretty long way. Still got three of the four Final Four teams, but I really liked Wisconsin. Probably should have gone Duke, but looking back on it, I don't really regret it. I thought Wisconsin was a great team. They just ran into a team that could shoot the ball extremely well. They play great defense. And they're in a tough conference. I mean, they've been tested all season. So And then if we want to look at some of the individual matchups this weekend, um, in the times. So that first game, obviously very interesting. Both teams that can really shoot the lights out. Alabama versus BYU.
Yeah, matchup I'm really looking forward to on Thursday to start off the Sweet 16. Um, in my bracket, I have Alabama advancing, but like I said before, I would not be surprised if BYU won, only because I think BYU's ability to defend is better than Alabama's. But when Alabama gets hot, you're not going to beat them. So I think it truly comes down to if Alabama's hitting shots and how BYU plays on defense. And I think rebounding will be a big part, but I like the Tide in that one.
Okay. I mean, I like the Tide in that one too, just purely because this team scored 90 points 18 times this season during the regular season. I'm not counting March Madness. Um, so they can score the ball with the best of them. I think they can get past BYU, but also would not be shocked if BYU were able to pull the upset.
Oh yeah, that the next game on Thursday as well, and that early window 7:39. Weird tip times too as well. Not sure why we're tipping off at 7:09 and 7:39. That's beyond me. But in the West region, Florida, Maryland, I'd like the Gators. I've got them in the Sweet 16. Actually, 1 second here, Tim. I will be I will be supporting my Florida shirt that I recently picked up in my trip to Gainesville over spring break. So I am a Gators fan to get to the Final Four. I like this team. Walter Clayton Jr. is the definition of a bucket. Made some big time shots against UConn.
Yeah,
And, even though Maryland's good, just had that buzzer beater. Love Derek Queen. I think Florida's gonna win that game on Thursday night.
yeah. I like the matchup. I think it's going to be a close game throughout for sure, but I think Florida has enough firepower to get it done. Moving on to the most interesting game of the weekend, in my opinion, Duke versus Zona. Um, it's it's two heavyweights. I I think Arizona was tested all season. They played a really tough non-con. Um, it's probably why they don't have a higher seed. I think these are two evenly matched teams. It's going to be interesting to see what happens on Thursday night. Um, I think I give Duke the edge by a little bit, but would not be shocked if Arizona pulled off the upset.
Yeah, and I think people forget November 22nd earlier this season, Duke went out to Tucson and beat Arizona 69 to 55 on the road. Very impressive win for the number one then ranked Duke Blue Devils and the then ranked 21st Arizona Wildcats. Obviously, Arizona's had a roller coaster of a season. In my bracket, I've got Arizona going on. I saw this team in person when they played the Bearcats in Cincinnati. I've really loved their guard play. Caleb Love, Jaden Bradley, KJ Lewis, physical guards. They play really good defense. And Toby Awaka, you will not find a better rebounder in the country, in my opinion, than him on the defensive and offensive glass. That dude hunts the basketball, gets in, creates other opportunities. And I like Arizona's physicality, and I think they can kind of play physical and kind of get Duke out of rhythm. I think Arizona's going to pull off the upset.
I mean, yeah, it's all going to really depend on what type of shooting night Caleb Love's going to have. Is he going to be hot or is he going to be dead cold? It really, I think this really determines how far this Zona team can go. If he's hitting his shots, they are playing like one of the best teams in the country for sure. And
Yeah, and
then
he just
on
needs one of
to
those
yeah,
nights
sorry.
against Oregon. Go ahead.
Same thing.
I was just saying he had one of those nights against Oregon where he was hitting all his shots, and hopefully he didn't use them all. But we know as Caleb Love, former North Carolina player, when he plays Duke, he shows up. So we'll see what happens.
We will see. We will see. On to the Texas Tech Arkansas matchup, where I totally could see Arkansas pulling off the upset. A lot of people think this team has a Sweet 16 limit cap, but Texas Tech is also a great team. I see this going down to the wire. Um, but I think I might um say the upset here. Arkansas Razorbacks. I like their coach. I like their players as well. I mean, I've always been a big fan ever since they stormed the court a while ago. I think it was against Alabama years ago. Um, and it was just it was a scene for sure.
Yeah, I don't blame you for picking Arkansas. They've got all the talent in the world, preseason ranked number 14th in the country. So of course, this is a team that had really high preseason expectations. Good guard play, Bogey Fland back for the NCAA tournament, DJ Wagner, Billy Richmond, Carter Knox, all these guys are really good. Obviously, missing a Thiero does hurt them, but I like this Arkansas team. The only issue is I like Texas Tech even more. JT Toppin, Player of the Year in the Big 12 Conference, got that left-handed hook shot down, vintage move, really good on the glass, and they've got some elite guards, and they shoot the three lights out as well. I did pick Texas Tech to Elite Eight in my bracket. I'm going to stick with it. Give me the Red Raiders.
Okay, on to Friday night. Michigan State versus Ole Miss. I think I gotta go with the Spartans here. Although Ole Miss has proven time and time again that they can hang with the best of them. Best been in the best conference all season, but MSU I just feel is too strong. They've had two great showings so far. Um, have been tested, so I think MSU gets it done. My national championship pick.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, they have been tested against Bryant and against New Mexico and Mexico team. I really like Donovan Dent, the point guard there. Thought they were going to pull the upset. They didn't. I did have Michigan State. I do have them in my national championship game, as you do as well. But really good team, and I'm going to pick the Spartans in this one just based off what you said. I agree 100%. I really like this Michigan State team.
And we got a rivalry game, Tennessee versus Kentucky. It was pretty interesting that they put them in the same region.
Yeah, it is. Tennessee and Kentucky meeting up in the Sweet 16. I believe this is the first conference matchup we're going to get in the tournament. I believe so. Um, should be the first rematch. Although Duke played Arizona, so we'll get that rematch from the regular season as well. But Kentucky, Tennessee, Kentucky swept the regular season series 2-0. Kentucky beat a really good Illinois team. Um, give me the Vols though. Tennessee is elite. I love their shooting. I love their guards, Zakai Ziegler, Chaz Lanier, and their bigs are really good. I like the Vols going to the Elite Eight in the Midwest region.
Agreed, agreed. Um, I like the Vols as well. They're a very good team. I've seen them play all year. In one of my like unconventional brackets, I had them winning the national championship. I really like two seeds. I don't know why, but I just do. Um, the one seeds the you'll typically see ones and twos, and an occasional three will slip into the final four. But I like this Tennessee team. I think they get the job done against Kentucky, even though this te Kentucky team is extremely talented, can score with the best of them. Um, that injury to well, their second leading scorer was a
Jackson
hurt.
Robinson.
Yeah, Jackson Robinson was hurt, even though Kobe Brea is shooting the lights out right now. So former Dayton player. On to Auburn versus Michigan.
Really good game. 1 versus 5. I correctly predicted this matchup. I did have Auburn versus Michigan in the Sweet 16. I'm gonna have the Auburn Tigers, the number one team, moving on to the Elite Eight. I just think they're too good. The Hot Pettiford has been awesome. The McDonald's All-American freshman, Jani Broom, one of the players of the year in the country, along with Cooper Flag. I think Auburn tested against Creighton, and I think they proved that they're still on top for right now. I like Auburn going to the Elite Eight.
Into the nightcap, we've got Houston versus Purdue. Two really good teams, but one team is clearly uh, can score the ball. I mean, they Houston Cougars, coached by Kelvin Sampson, are a buzzsaw. I mean, this team I have moving on to the Elite Eight for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you, Tim. I've got Houston winning the national championship. The boys from the Big 12. It's always getting to watch them play in person when they played Cincinnati last season, and even in the American. Just these teams are relentless. If you want to learn how to play defense, you go play for Kelvin Sampson. I mean, those teams are amazing. Really good guard play. Always got good senior leadership too. Jamal Shed from last year, LJ Cryer this year stepped into that role. Milos Uzan as well. But I love this Houston team. I do have them going on, but it is a bit tough that they have to play as the one seed in the Midwest region against Purdue in Indianapolis, only 70 miles from Purdue's
Yeah.
campus. That's a tough draw, but I still like the Cougars to get it done.
Yeah, and like we're not knocking Purdue here by any stretch.
No.
This is a really good team.
Yeah,
I mean, I mean, this is a really good team. But Houston, uh, they're just they're a one seed for a reason. And then moving on to in an alternate universe, if Snyder was a Xavier basketball fan, um, if he in an alternate universe, I mean, who would you want to be the next? Okay, we'll wait for him to come back.
oh, excuse me. I just had to grab this real fast.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Wrong one.
We're saying an alternate universe, Jack.
Oh,
Okay.
alternate universe.
Or as a let's not do that. Let's say as a UC fan, who would you hate for Xavier the hire the most? Who
The
would you
man,
hate?
the man that is on the screen right now, Richard Pitino. I brought this up. We talked on the phone the other day. Brought this up. I said Richard Pitino would be a fantastic hire from New Mexico for the Musketeers. Um, I don't know how realistic that is. I did see some heat on Twitter about that. Not sure what's real and what's not, so take that with a grain of salt. I think Rich Bertier would be a slam dunk hire. I almost said slam run. Wow, that would have been embarrassing.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a slam dunk hire. I'm hearing a lot of buzz about Chris Mack back to Xavier,
Yeah,
out of Charleston. So either
yeah,
way, I don't know, but I'm not. I personally don't care because Wes Miller and the Bearcats, that they're on the rise. Although
yes.
it's tough to prove that correct, but
Richard
it'll,
Pitino would
it'll be
really help with the recruiting for sure. I think a lot of people want to go play for the Pitino name for sure.
absolutely.
And he'd get to coach against his dad. I mean, that would be awesome. But I mean, how has Villanova not fired Kyle Neptune yet? There's a lot of speculation that have
He
they?
got fired. Tim, he
He
got
got
fired.
fired. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good.
I mean, he's literally been like 500 as a Villanova coach and hasn't made the tournament once. I mean, so I'm happy for Villanova's sake that they can bring in a new coach and possibly start, um, you know, winning some more basketball games because that's a team that won the national championship in 2016 and 2018. So it's been like one of the dark ages for Villanova, like Travis Steele was for the Xavier Musketeers.
Xavier should bring him back as well if they wanted to. He's just up the
Oh
road
no,
in
no, no.
Oxford.
That would be a big mistake, I believe. I do not want to go back to those times. If they brought him back, I'm fully converted to be a Bearcat, like fully.
Travis
So
Steele to Xavier. Let's do it.
Travis Steele to Xavier, if you want me to be full-fledged Bearcat right there, because I will not cheer for that team ever again if they bring that guy back. Um, but did you hear Jay Wright misses coaching? Did you hear that quote?
I did not hear that. Interesting.
He misses it apparently,
Good thing
and
his old
he
job
says
was
that he
opened up.
might want to get back into it. I heard this from Trey Joseph, so take this from with a grain of salt. But uh, I think either Richard Pitino, Jay Wright, if he's interested, and then obviously I would hate to just see Chris Mack leave in a couple years, but he did go to St. Xavier High School. He is a local guy. So he could be a lot more loyal than Sean Miller. Sean Miller was just using us to get back in the big coaching
Maybe,
NIL tree.
maybe Chris Mack would be all in for the Musketeers.
Yeah, funny one there. Uh, and then, I mean, we'll pull up the picture of Ali De La Cruz.
There it
Uh,
is. Go. Opening day
but
this week.
first,
I am fired up.
I'm very fired up. But first, I would like to talk a little bit about what a perfect draft would look like for the Bengals.
Okay.
I know I did get you hyped up there
Mhm.
with the picture of Ellie, but what would be like positional, like ratio wise, like defense to offense draft? Because we both believe this has to be a defensive draft.
Yeah, 100%. I think you're looking at a 2-to-1 ratio, defense to offense. Definitely got to take a linebacker or two. Definitely got to take someone on the edge. Definitely got to take someone in the defensive backfield. Obviously, they got to draft an O-lineman somewhere in there too because we know we stink with the O-line.
Yeah,
I just there are a lot of good options out there. I think they'll get someone good. I hope they'll get someone good. Got to develop them as well. But ideally for me, I would say a 2-to-1 ratio. Obviously, defense to offense because I think defense is the focus after we just signed T Higgins and Jamar Chase.
I would totally have to agree with you on that. I like a lot of the first round prospects that the Bengals have met with on the defensive side of the ball. They've met with Malachi Starks. They've met with the edge rusher from Tennessee. They've met with Walter Nolan. So a lot of good prospects in that first round, and hopefully they can hit on the. It's not a good draft if you don't hit on those second, thirds, and then even further down the board. If you can find, a diamond in the rough, those are the type of drafts that ascend teams into a position where they are able to improve on the defensive side of the ball, or even when teams are struggling on the offensive side of the ball, hitting those home runs really helps,
Yeah, I agree.
especially when you're getting these guys on rookie contracts. I mean, when back when Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins, the good old days when they were, getting paid, you know, not nearly as much as they are today. That was the window for sure. But I still think the window is open for sure.
I agree, especially after we, as I just mentioned, the wide receiver signings. Oh, the window's there. With this offense, we can beat anybody, but gotta load up on defense as well if we truly want to make that Super Bowl push.
This defense doesn't even need to be top 10. This defense just needs to be average. This defense needs to be middle of the league to be able to go on a run in the playoffs. I think it's going to be very critical to get off to a hot start. And if we can get back on top of the AFC North and play a few home playoff games, that would really help the Bengals' cause in the postseason. And now, opening day is, I believe, coming up soon next Thursday.
This Thursday.
This Thursday. Wow, this Thursday. Oh gosh. I cannot wait for this team. I mean, you got Ellie De La Cruz on the screen. I mean, you got Matt McClain, Jake Fraley. I mean, I'm a Jake Fraley lover.
Yeah,
Um, you got freaking Hunter Green. This team is poised to do something this year, right, Jack?
I agree. I am excited. Spring training numbers, not necessarily the record because that does not matter, but individually, the man on the screen right now had an insane spring training. His stats were awesome. It got me hyped. I'm rocking the Ellie jersey for the pod today. I'll be rocking this to class on Thursday. I will be streaming the Reds game, possibly illegally. I don't know if I can say that. Maybe cut that out. I don't know. I gotta watch this game. I'm so excited. Tim, can I pose a question to you?
Yes.
Have you ever been more excited for a Cincinnati Reds baseball season?
Nope.
It,
Nope. Never.
exactly. There it is. It's an easy answer. I mean, this team
Yeah.
has the hype. They just got to live up to the expectations. And for once, I believe they can.
I feel like this is the year before the year. Like they're gonna make the wild card. Like this is a year that they can really put together a very solid season. I don't know if this is a team that's going to win the division. I love them to win the division. Trust me. I mean, I if this team could rip off 90 plus wins, I would be ecstatic. Um, but I think this is the season, for sure. Uh, the Cardinals and the Pirates, the bottom of the division, if we can beat up on those guys and uh, at least have some really good games, a good stretch against those two top of the division teams like the Cubs and the Brewers, I really think that puts us in a good position to contend in the playoffs for sure. This is a very high-powered offense, I believe.
Agree. And I think part of the reason all this hype is surrounding this ball club is because of the new manager, Terry Francoa. Did I say that right? I'm not
Harry
exactly
Francona.
Francona. Okay, yeah. So Francona, I think I love the social media stuff I've seen from him, like the interviews and stuff, just how he talks about the game and the players. I saw him talking about Ellie's gonna bat third for us. I just like the way he's involved with his team, and I think I think he's definitely the right guy for the job. Obviously, he's got to prove that in the regular season, but I like what I'm seeing so far.
I really love the new hire. I think it's the biggest wins above replacement hire um, in the league. Um, you could argue Juan Soto, but I mean this guy's a Hall of Fame coach. He's not a loser like David Bell. I mean, you literally listen to a post-game press conference of this guy. He'll be like, there's a lot more games to go. Like, you know, and he just rest his best players. Like, just like on a random Tuesday, he's just like, you need a rest. You get a rest. Uh, Ellie won't play one day. You'll show up to the ballpark expecting to see Ellie, and you're just like, oh, he's not playing today.
That's exactly what happened when we went to the game.
Uh,
I had to say, we went that one time. LB walks 4 times. So we went to a game later in the summer. Yeah, I get there. Apparently, he's not playing. Very disappointing. I gotta go to a game. I have not yet seen him like play, and I'm hyped for Reds baseball, man. It should be special.
I think Terry Francona believes in the philosophy that you put out your best players just about every day, unless they're injured. So hopefully that helps the Reds. I loved the question that was asked to Terry Francona if he scheduled any preseason spring training games against the Indians. And he goes, no, I purposely didn't because I'm a fucking Red. I mean, that is so electric. I love that. I love that from the Reds manager.
Uh,
And
yeah.
I really hope they can keep us as happy as we are on this podcast talking about them. They just got to go out and prove it.
Yep.
I believe that is all for the Cincy Sports Pod today. A little bit of March Madness talk, and we'll see you next time. I'm Tim Kraft, my co host Jack Snyder. We'll see you next time.